and can help you get results faster when you can really tap into that creative power and that ability to make things happen. All right. Now, there's one guiding principle that allows you to be extraordinarily resourceful. And I'm going to talk about what that is, but I'm going to illustrate this with the power of a story. Okay. So, in addition to this one thing, this one overarching principle, I'm going to share with you 5 different tactics that you can use to create more resourcefulness in your own life. And each of those 5, I'm going to have a real life example of something that you can actually go and do and can support you in getting better results quicker. All right. So let's go with this story. All right, so let's just imagine for a minute that you and I are walking along a city block and we look up and we're like, wow, we see a really, really tall building. And I said to you, okay, I want you to take the stairs and let's just call it a 100-story building. And I say, okay, I want you to go take the stairs because at the top of the stairs, I have put a $1 bill. And I'm going to give you that $1 bill if you walk up all those stairs and go get it. Okay, well, I don't know if it's worth it for $1, right? You're probably like, I'm good. I don't think I'm gonna do 100 flights of stairs up and then back down for $1. Okay, that's fine. That's no problem. What if I give you $100? Well, maybe some people will take me up on the offer, maybe not, right? Here's where things get really, really different. Now, if you don't have children, maybe you have a pet or a loved one. I'm going to use children in this example because that's what I have. So if I said, okay, your child is at the top of that building and the building is on fire and you're the only one who can go up there and save your child, are you going to go up there? Heck yes. Absolutely. If my child were at the top of a burning building, I would figure out whatever I needed to do to save that child. Okay? It doesn't matter. All of a sudden, what doesn't matter anymore is how I get to the top of that building. All that matters is that I do get to the top of that building. Maybe I go find a helicopter to fly me up to the top of the building and I grab my kiddo. Maybe I run up the stairs. Maybe I find firefighter. There's infinite possibilities of how I go get to the top of that. But what's happened now is my commitment has completely shifted. I don't really care about going to the top of a burning building for $1 or for even $100, but I do care about going and saving my child. Okay. That ability to commit and to lean in and to say, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to go achieve that goal. I'm going to create that outcome. That is called vision. Okay, so that is what I refer to as vision. It's a true commitment to a future outcome that is just burning inside of you. Now, on the flip side of that, there's vision, and then there's mechanics. The mechanics of doing something, of reaching a goal, of creating an outcome don't matter. Okay. It doesn't matter to me if I take the stairs. It doesn't matter to me if I hop on my left foot to get up the stairs. It doesn't matter to me if I take a helicopter and fly up and grab my kiddo. It doesn't matter. What matters is that I'm getting them. And that is my vision. All right. So you're going to get super resourceful when you have that full commitment to the thing that you want. So number one, you've got to be clear about what it is that you are looking to create in your life. Write that down, put pen to paper and actually write out like, this is what I'm trying to create. I find so many people get stuck sometimes because they're not clear on what they're looking to create. That's one of the first questions I always ask my clients when I'm trying to help them build a strategic plan to get from where they are to where they want to go. Okay. So vision, not mechanics. All right. That is the number one principle behind becoming extraordinarily resourceful. 100% of success is vision. 0% of success is the mechanics. And some people get that wrong. Some people think, oh, well, maybe it's 80-20 or maybe it's 50-50. No, the mechanics don't matter. They will work themselves out. But what's more important is having that vision. All right. So we're going to talk about 5 things now that can help you in becoming extraordinarily resourceful. So First of all, I want you to have this commitment, this clear vision in mind. Okay. And maybe if you want to re listen to this training when you do have a specific outcome or goal in mind that you're looking to create in your life, run through these 5 steps again. Okay. So let's go into step number one. Step number one, I call believe in serendipity. Okay. I want you to imagine how it might feel if, like, the most incredible, easy, obvious, wonderful answer showed up in front of you. Sometimes we are so closed off to possibilities because we're narrow minded and we're thinking, well, but how could it? I can't do that. Oh, it shouldn't work that way. So if you find yourself and you notice that you're saying words like can't, won't, or shouldn't, this is a sign that you may need to believe in serendipity, to open yourself up to possibility. Okay. So here's an action item that you can take for this. To believe in what's possible and to believe in a serendipitous answer that comes your way, number one, you need to be open that that's a possibility. Number two, take out a white sheet of paper and just start writing things that are absolutely crazy. It doesn't matter what it is. Maybe you're talking about aliens. Maybe you're talking about, Abraham Lincoln coming back to life and helping you out with your problem. Maybe you're talking about how you need to have a meeting with DJ Khaled. I don't know. Whatever that might be, that's just too crazy to think about. Get it out. Get out your piece of paper and let this piece of paper be crazy. Let it be out of this world. Let it be unrealistic and start writing possibilities that just don't even make sense. Because what that's going to do is start to expand your ability to believe in the outcome coming your way. Okay, so trust that the outcome, that the answer is coming to you, and it can, if you are willing to receive it. I think that's something we can sometimes struggle with, is receiving. Receiving is a very important part of creating as an entrepreneur, as of giving. Okay, so allow that serendipity to come into your life. All right, number two, we need to set the stage for flow. We all know what flow is, right? Flow is where you are in that state of mind. You're in this very creative zone where ideas just come. It's when writers start writing and they just have magnificent words and it all works really well, right? Or when artists are painting and it just all comes together nicely, okay? Flow is a really important part of the creative process, and you can do things to help facilitate flow, right? So here's a few examples. You can use music. I have a playlist on Spotify that I have multiple playlists that I go to when I need to be either supercharged, energized, when I'm prepping for a podcast interview, when I am leaning into, doing a pitch or something like that. I have music that pumps me up and gets me in that energy and that frame of mind that I need to be in. Okay. Another thing is reading books. Reading can really spark creativity. When you start reading, sometimes it just triggers all of these thoughts and you're like, oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. If that works for you, do that. If listening to YouTube videos of motivational speeches or, maybe music videos, that's a great way to do it too. Another thing is going to restaurants or public places. I'm an extrovert, so I get my energy by being around other people. When I'm at home too much, I get really tired. So for me personally, I love putting myself in an environment where there's other people. Not only is like being in the big city really fun, going outside, sitting at a restaurant with Christmas lights and good food and jazz playing in the background, that totally inspires me and gets me in this place of flow. So figure out what that might look like for you and put yourself in those situations. We can sometimes underestimate the power of our environment. It's critical. It's so critical. Environment can change everything for you. So make sure that you're putting yourself in that good environment. Okay, another way to set the stage for flow is asking yourself powerful questions. It's also setting yourself up so you don't have interruptions and you don't have distractions. One of the most expensive things is the cost of context switching. And I've done another video about context switching called the $16,000 priority sideswipe. And when we allow distractions into our flow and our creative time, it just sets us back so far, and it's very difficult to come back from it in a timely manner. So, number 2, set the stage for flow. And the action item you can take is any one of those things that I talked about in creating an environment that supports that flow for you. All right. Number 3, I want you to ride intentional creative churn. Okay. Well, what does that mean, Natalie? Creative churn is when we allow ideas to come out unfiltered. Okay. So many people filter what they say. Have you ever heard somebody say, I don't know exactly how to say this, so I'm just going to say it wrong? I have heard that all the time. Okay. That's fantastic. Do that. That supports the creative process. So write down subpar ideas on purpose. Okay. Go find memory triggers. Like if you're looking to make a list, say, of all the people that you know and would like to connect with, there are some memory triggers. You can go find a list of every single country in the world and then go through those and say, oh, that's right. I remember my friend from Germany, or I remember my friend from Switzerland, or that I met when I was in London. Okay. And those will start to trigger things. You can also look up a list of different industries and start thinking, oh, yeah, I know a person in that industry. Oh, yeah, I connected to someone here. Okay. These memory triggers are really going to help you, but you've got to get through this creative churn, and you've got to be able to just let things be messy for a minute. Okay. One of the other things that I really like to do, that I've challenged clients to do, and it's worked out really well. Like for some reason, this works particularly well when you're trying to figure out a title for, like I've had clients use it for book titles, or like subtitles for their book or for their programs. This is my challenge. So here's my action item. To get into creative churn, I challenge you to make a list of 100 different possibilities. Whatever the thing you're trying to solve, maybe you're trying to come up with a title, maybe you're trying to come up with a way to do things. Write out 100 possibilities and let as many of them be crappy ideas. Okay. Because it takes getting through it takes churning through some not good ideas in order to really strike gold. So be confident in allowing the mess to just unfold. All right. So that's number 3. So let's go back what we've talked about. Number 1, believe in serendipity. Okay. Believe that it's possible. Believe that a fantastic answer is coming your way. Number 2, set the stage for flow. So make sure that your environment supports your creativity the way it works for you. Number 3, ride that intentional creative churn. Let the mess come out. Don't filter yourself. Okay. Number 4 is to benchmark success. All right. So this one is really important, because a lot of the times we think about, when we're trying to figure out how to do something, we think about it in terms of the best that we can do it. What I want you to do instead is think about the best it can be done. The best it can be done. Not the best that you can do it, but the best way it has ever been done and could be done. Because what that's going to do is extend your vision to the horizon. You're going to be way, way light years ahead of the competition when you start thinking like this and you say, what might be the best possible way? What is a world-class way to onboard my new clients, right? Or what is the best possible way for me to build the kind of relationships and strategic partnerships that I'm looking for? How have other people done this? Go out and actually so here's your action item, spend 20 minutes researching someone you know is world-class at what you're looking to do, and write down the steps that they're following. Look at their process. Watch how that's happening, and be very observant about how other people who are successful are doing things, because there are clues hidden in the way that they show up that you can pick up on without having to buy anything from them, that will really support you in leapfrogging ahead and really getting traction in creating more of what you want. Okay. Um, another thing that you can do to benchmark success is to ask yourself incredibly big questions. Okay, incredibly valuable questions. One of my favorite questions that I've ever heard was this: what might need to happen in order for our clients to be crazy to work with anyone else? How might we show up for our clients so that they would be crazy to work with anybody else? What does it look like for us to do business like that? Where truly someone is like, oh my gosh, why? Why would I go anywhere else? Because you're fantastic. I love you. I love working with you. I get incredible results. I feel really good. How can I show up and do business like that? That's a cool question to answer. Okay. And this goes back to the idea of vision versus mechanics. Okay. Don't let yourself get stuck in the mechanics of things, because there's a temptation to say, okay, well, what does that look like for someone to be crazy to work with anyone else? Well, then maybe we need to have this software, or I need to do these, I need to write this little thing. If you find yourself getting super tactical about what to be doing, take a minute and go back from the tactical doing side of things and lean into the being side of things. Being is focused on the feeling that's created, the experience that the other person has. Okay. And our world has been in a very masculine, doing driven style. And that's loosening up. Like, it is already shifting and changing. And people are moving to a more balanced and a more feminine energy of doing business. Okay. This has nothing to do with gender. This is just the masculine and feminine are both important. Okay. But the feminine side of things, the very open and like, you know, the connection, the relationships, the love, right? Like, those things are critical. So let me just bring this back in. Benchmarking success looks like modeling after others who have done what you want to do. It looks like spending 20 minutes researching how the best in your industry has done it and how you might set yourself up for success by modeling after that process. Okay. That was number 4. Number 5, get outside the box. Okay. So here's something I like. I love people watching. I don't know if you ever like people watch when you're at the airport or when you're sitting at, the mall, or you're sitting in Starbucks or wherever, and you're just watching people and seeing how people do things. It's so interesting to me because everybody has their own story. They all come from their own walk of life. They all have their own movie of their life playing in their head, and I am just a character in that movie, right? But if I can pause for a moment and pull myself out and think, what is it like to be them? What is it like? My husband works for Elon Musk, right? He works at Tesla. And sometimes I think, I wonder what it's like to be Elon Musk. Like, all these people who are probably asking him for things. He's probably got he has his gatekeepers who, shields off and whatnot. I know he responds to company emails because I've seen some of them. But if you start to put your head in the mind of somebody completely different than you, choose an industry that is completely different. Think about how a firefighter would think, a doctor, a lawyer, a chiropractor, a billionaire, an astronaut, a scientist. Think about how someone else, and try to put yourself in their shoes, and even better, go get into a conversation with somebody and explain what you're looking to do. And I'm telling you, even in just explaining to somebody who has a very different perspective than you, is going to help you start to see things differently. And when you can get outside of the box and see things differently, you can come up with some extraordinary solutions. You can get super creative. This is why diversity and inclusion is so important. You are missing out if you do not have difference in your life. if you are not surrounding yourself with people who will challenge you, who will say, I don't think that's a good idea, with people who say, I didn't grow up like that. I don't know what that's like. This is what I grew up like. This is what it's like for me. And you can both live in that same space, and it can be okay to have those differences. It can be so, so powerful because it allows both of you to have a different paradigm and expand your vision of this world and of what's possible. So I would challenge you to get into the room with people who are different from you, who will challenge you, but also people who are where you want to go. Okay? Listen to podcasts that you don't normally listen to. Um, watch a movie. Sometimes I love movies, and watching movies can inspire me to just think differently. If you look at any type of like superhero movie or thing like that, this is what's so funny to me is they're like, okay, step one of our plan, we're going to go in to this room that's somehow impenetrable. Number two, we're going to get rid of all the bad guys. And then number three, we're going to get out of there, right? Okay, well, how much mechanics are in those three steps? No mechanics. Well, what if the door's locked? Well, what if we can't this? Well, what if the security guards show up? Well, what if they don't ever think about any of that in movies, right? And maybe that's a little unrealistic, but it is illustrating this idea of vision. Have the vision. What do you want? Are you going to go save that kid from the top of the building or not? Be committed. Be all in. Make that decision and then use these tools to find your resourcefulness, to find your creativity, okay? I want to tell you two things. One thing that I've been doing is upgrading the 5 people I spend the most time with. And I'll tell you this, I'm in a community where there's a wide range of entrepreneurs and their success levels, from 6-figure up to 8-figure business owners, right? And those 6 and 8, 7-figure, whatever, those are just terms, whatever. Here's what I do when I am in calls with people who I know have more success than me, they have more experience than me, and they're the people I want to be in the room with. I look for people who have awesome professional backgrounds in their Zoom videos because I figure those people are taking things seriously. So I'm going to connect with them. And I'll tell you what, I've had a ton of success just connecting with people by complimenting their Zoom background and genuinely being interested in getting to know them and what they do. Okay. So that's just like one idea. That's one way to be resourceful. Okay. Now, the last thing I want to finish with is a story of resourcefulness that I found very inspiring and super cool. So, my friend has a kind of like a nanny, but she's her home assistant. She takes care of different things around the house, helps her with food, helps her with her puppies, things like that. And she was telling me this story of how her home assistant is just the most scrappy, resourceful person. And she was in a situation where I think she needed to pay her rent and just didn't have the cash to do it. So what she did is she got onto Craigslist. Okay. She found a woman who was giving away puppies for free. And she goes to this woman and says, look, here's what I would like to do. I want to take all these puppies off of your hand. I'm going to make sure that they go to good homes. I'm going to relist and I'm going to sell these puppies. Okay. And I'm going to give you a report. I'm going to make sure that they go to good homes. And this woman was like, okay, as long as you promise they'll go to good homes, I'm in. So she did. She took all the puppies. She found incredible, loving homes for all of these puppies. She wrote up a report of what happened to each puppy, gave it back to the original owner, and she made $2,500 by flipping puppies. Isn't that incredible? So when you are in a moment of creative exhaustion or you're just like, oh, what do I do? Think about flipping puppies. It's the craziest thing, but it worked. Let it be crazy, right? Use those 5 things we talked about. Believe in the serendipity, okay? Believe in incredible answers coming your way. Set the stage for flow. Make sure your environment is set up. Ride the intentional creative churn. Unfiltered. Let it be. Let the bad ideas come out because that's where the good ones come out too. Benchmark your success. look at how other people are doing it and model after them. And 5, intentionally get outside the box. Think different by surrounding yourself with people who think different from you. So I hope this was helpful. This was super fun. Let me know how you are doing with wrapping up this year. I'm actually launching some incredible programs, 2 programs that we've got going on. One is launching today, so I won't tell you about it until after we launch. And then next week on Thursday, I am launching another program that is going to help people get into massive strategic action, get you focused results. So I'll be telling you all about that. If you want to know more, let me know. You guys have an awesome day. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.